Good evening. Welcome to Stay Smoky TV, Baltimore and DMV's #1 cigar-related podcast. I am Ron, a.k.a. the Urban Leaf, a.k.a. Mr. Stay Smoky himself, a.k.a. Top Shelf Ron, a.k.a. My humidor is better than yours, a.k.a. the Cigar Goat, a.k.a. the first to broadcast live at the PCA Townhouse.
That's it? You good?
That's it.
Zone. What up? It's your boy, the nephew, a.k.a. Mr. Culture Dope himself, a.k.a. Mr. We Got Motion, a.k.a. We Get It Done. Drano Smokes.
It's Drano Smokes. No additional AKAs. Y'all know how I do. Let's get it.
So today's episode, we said a couple episodes ago, we said, 1 year in, we got to do it right. The only way we know how to do it. Some phone calls was made. We had to fly some people back from Europe and everything like that. They're handling these international affairs. We had to fly back. You know what I'm saying? They handle these international affairs. If you don't know the background of the area, you just haven't been privileged enough to come down here, or you're not in the circle, not paying attention. But we are at the PCA Townhouse. That's what y'all do clap.
You see that, big brother?
Hold on, yo. Let me get my little, you know what I'm saying? Just a little.
So you gentlemen want to introduce yourselves while he's indulging in his drink down there?
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for inviting us on the podcast. I'm Joshua Habrusky. I'm the new executive director of the Premium Cigar Association, and I'm joined over here with my colleague Richard Chalkey.
Yep, I'm Richard Chalkey. I'm the Director of Coalitions and Policy here at the Premium Cigar Association.
That sounds important.
That sounds.
It's a little overblown, but
That sounds fancy. That sounds fancy. That's serious right there. Golly.
happy to have you all here.
Thanks. Thanks for having us.
Feels like our second home anyway.
Yeah. So, I believe we all smoking the same cigar.
Yeah.
So we all smoking this Cavalier Genevieve. Thanks to Josh, So we're gonna smoke this paired with some Russell's Reserve. I bought the wrong bottle. Private Barrel Selection. That's supposed to be my red bottle. I bought the wrong one. That means I gotta buy another one tomorrow. So
You didn't get the red one?
that's the red one. I bought the wrong one. I meant to bring the 10-year.
Oh, the 10-year bottle.
It's all good.
Okay. So, this is a great occasion.
So we drinking at Russell's, and we smoking this Cavalier Genevieve. So we down, like we said, we down here at the PCA Townhouse. Josh, you want to elaborate on what the PCA is?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Premium Cigar Association, we are the trade group for the premium cigar industry. We do the largest trade show, which was in Las Vegas for the past few years. We're moving it to New Orleans in 2025. I just got back from a site visit in New Orleans last week, and very excited about that. We're also the preeminent lobbying and advocacy arm. That's why we're blocks from the U.S. Capitol. So we advocate for cigar consumers, retailers, manufacturers on Capitol Hill and throughout state legislatures. So we do a lot of different things. We have magazine communications about the cigar industry, and it's been a good run. I took over a little over 3 months ago as executive director. I come from the government affairs world, but we've been connecting with a lot of people through great podcasts like this, but also on the road. This summer has been extremely busy going out to retail shops, doing events. We did a state event in Louisville, Kentucky. It was at the RNC in Milwaukee and the DNC in Chicago. Getting in front of elected officials of all different political persuasions, and really the central message is the belief, making sure that people understand what premium cigars are about, the sense of community that we have, the jobs that it produces, and the passions. Some of my closest friends that I've met are through cigars. Some of my best moments are shared over cigars, and I think that it's one of those things where we want to keep this alive. I want to make sure that the industry for adults, continues to thrive and grow.
No, Josh, because I'm gonna throw it out here right now. Tell him your age, man.
I just turned 33.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's big, man.
That's
So
big
he,
right
so he
there.
really the youngest in
He
charge.
so there's a story behind that. There's a story
He
behind
really
that.
the youngest in charge.
It's
bro.
really he really is, but it's us.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. I had to put that out there, man. I had to put that age out there.
So Richard, tell us about what you do here.
So a lot of it is engagement, either helping with state and local advocacy, or also with kind of the Hill in that. I'm not in the traditional sense the lobbyist, because we have those, but just some of my background in government and just being in DC for about 10 years, a lot of inroads to help with the industry. The big thing, as Josh kind of mentioned, is it's about helping small businesses and getting people to understand the craft, also just the traditions of cigars, getting people introduced to it. There's so many people that, know people that either I generally run into people that love it, or they know someone who loves it, and they want to know more about it. And so it's kind of just spreading that around here in the DC area. But yeah, we do a lot of the state and local advocacy as of late, and some things with the FDA as well. So kind of more government affairs related.
Okay, so he got that top secret. He do the top secret stuff. Okay.
So let me ask this question. So PCA, is it more so for the retailer or the cigar companies? Like, who is it mainly for?
So, it started as a retail organization. Retail Tobacco Dealers was the original name, and then it changed into the International Premium Cigar or Premium Cigar and Pipe Retailers Association, and then it converted now in the modern day the Premium Cigar Association. The organization was founded in 1933, so very old organization with a rich history. But we represent both retailers and manufacturers. So, bringing with the trade show, I think that's where you see the nexus of that relationship.
Right.
We have the retail community coming together with the manufacturers. It's the trade group for the premium cigar and pipe industry. And then also, the issues that we face and that we're fighting for, whether it's local, state, federal, or even international, everything affects consumers. I tell everybody, I'm a consumer first. I want to fight for this because I enjoy it.
Right.
So, whether you're on the retail and the manufacturing side, on the business side, that's one component for it. But everything that we do, the end user who's buying these cigars, keeping the small businesses operational, we're fighting for them as a secondary or tertiary benefit.
So do y'all get like a lot of anybody else got another question?
No, go ahead.
So do y'all get like a lot of resistance when y'all go to, I guess, like Capitol Hill or whatever, and want to ask, about, I guess, not federal, because tobacco tax is different in every state, right?
So there's a federal excise tax, and then there's also the state OTP. And there are certain states that don't have OTP, like
Right.
Florida, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and actually cigars over $2 in DC do not have a OTP tax.
Yeah, that's why I drive to Delaware and buy my cigar.
Yeah, Delaware is a lower, although Delaware can go lower. I think honestly Pennsylvania in the region, that's the place to buy cigars at the cheapest price.
Or New Hampshire.
So like when they say, when the state legislature says we want to raise our tobacco tax, do you guys, like when y'all go and speak to them, do y'all get like a lot of resistance?
It depends on the state. I mean, I looking back, I started with the organization about 6 years ago in-house. A year before that, I was consulting. You had a lot of people on Capitol Hill that thought cigars were big cigarettes. And it was a lot of education, outreach. I mean, we do a dozen events a year, and a lot of it is there's no ask, there's no legislative, rationale for it. It's just teaching people that, this is age 3 to 5 years. 200 plus people touch this. Like, this is the lifeblood of communities in the Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, Honduras. And there's a ripple effect of that. If you have taxes and increase them, whether it's at the state level or federally, the communities in Nicaragua and Honduras and the Dominican Republic, they feel the effects of this. And, immigration issues, the economics there, that can be a lot more impactful. None of us want to pay an extra $1 or $2 for a cigar here.
Hell no.
But, the livelihood of a farmer in Esteli or Don Lee or, Santiago, that's a lot different. And I've been fortunate enough to go a couple times to those areas and see what the cigar industry has built up. And it's incredible. You have charitable foundations, you have clinics, schools, daycare facilities that have been built up, roads, like infrastructure by the premium cigar industry. That puts it in a whole lot of perspective. But elected officials, they don't necessarily know all of those stories, so it's our job to make sure that they understand that this isn't just about the hour and a half of enjoyment that we all have on an infrequent basis. If you look statistically, your cigar aficionado is someone that has less than 2 cigars a month. So how do we get those people and mobilize them to become evangelists and vocalize the story of what we all
less
enjoy?
than 2 cigars a month?
Less than 2 cigars a month.
I
I know that
4 cigars a day.
Yeah, I
So
know.
this- we out of the
You guys are all outliers. Myself included too.
Oh, man. Ooh.
So you guys seem to be very passionate about the leaf, and I could just hear it from the way that you speak. So we normally, like, one of our first questions to our guests is like, when and where did you fall in love with cigars?
Yeah, so I was a college student at Washington and Jefferson and a political science major, and my professor, Dr. Joseph DeSaro, he had a Winston Churchill club, and every Friday
That's
we
it
would
right
smoke
there.
cigars and talk politics. And I worked as a lobbyist for motorcycles, diabetes, community banks, all different causes, and really got into this role as a passion project. I love cigars. It's my dream job. I would not want any other job out there than the one that I have right now, because it connects what I studied also with what I enjoy.
Right. So back in college is where.
Back in college.
What about you?
Yeah, mine's similar to college. However, a little different journey. In that, back in Illinois, I'm originally from Illinois, smaller town. So, not premium cigars.
You're not from O Block?
No.
Could have fooled me.
I went to the University of Illinois, and there was a famous shop called John's Pipe Shop, and so my intro in was actually pipe tobacco. And first, because everybody when they were freshmen would buy a pipe. Now before that, I'd had like Backwoods and Black and Milds and that.
See, that's what I'm talking. Yeah, he from O Block.
Yeah, and so like, but other than the occasional cigar that shows up at a wedding, which has probably been sitting in somebody's car for the past month, not properly humidified, right?
Right.
Like the groomsmen did. And so that got me interested, and then over the years in just kind of golfing and just being here in DC, I think the first one that I really got me into it was Perdomo, to be honest.
Good old Nick.
Yeah, shout out to Nick.
Shout out to Nick.
And then I had met Josh, I don't know, probably
5-6 years ago.
yeah, and that's when it, more so just gives credence to PCA. I wasn't here, but learning about it and getting to get introduced further into all the different cigars, and now just kind of the breadth is just very wide. So
and coming to the trade show and seeing it firsthand, meeting a lot of the folks in the industry, I think that, it's reinforcing. Like on the other side, when I was in college reading Cigar Aficionado, it was like these were idols. And now, working with them, getting into arguments with them, yelling at them on the phone, and, then also bringing them here. I mean, a lot of us, having seen it over the last 5 or 6 years, in that period, it was the best of times and it was the worst of times. We had the pandemic, we had, government regulation and the lawsuits. We really fought in the trenches with people like Alan Rubin from Alec Bradley, Rocky Patel, George Padron, Corey Bappert from Oliva, the family-owned companies, and the commitment and level of their own personal money that they put towards coming to DC and fighting this fight. The litigation is just one component of it. I mean, we had in those early years 4 or 5 times a year, they would leave their businesses for 3-4 days and spend their time going on Capitol Hill, office to office, and really sounding the alarm of, hey,
it'd be right here after.
Yeah, right here after.
Right
We've held
after,
meetings here and getting a staff and Richard was on the other side as a staff member working in Congress a couple years ago. And he kind of saw it firsthand, and it was a natural fit to bring him on board to our team.
So he was like the inside man.
I told you his clearance is different. I told you,
we're gonna give him a job.
So for everybody out there that when Josh is talking, he's talking about everything he's done for the industry. I know a personal time when when COVID happened, and in Baltimore County they wasn't trying to let us smoke inside, but you can do these restaurants. I went like this. I called Josh. He said, give me 24 hours. He broke this proposal up. I don't know who he sent it to. I don't know who he sent it to. 3 days later, Shirley get an email. Josh gives me a phone call. 2 days later after that, the people we ever sent it to called Fire and Smoke and said, if y'all have any issues with anything, please give us a call.
Did that really happen?
It really happened.
Yeah, you got fact check, nephew.
No, that really happened.
I mean, it was tough. We were doing guides trying to help the industry throughout that. That was very trying. And for the first 3 months, I was back in Pennsylvania where my parents are. And doing interviews, putting together guides, resources, how to kind of stay afloat. I mean, people were doing curbside. They were, just trying to figure it out. And that's the beauty of the premium cigar network or industry. It's resilient, no matter what it faces, the challenges. And I think we're now on a very good trajectory, at least from the association perspective. Through that period of time, most of our staff was furloughed. It was myself and Scott Pierce for about a good 4 or 5 months. It was just us. And, our board of directors had a vision for a path forward. And that's why it's nice to sit back now and see where we've gone over that period of time. And, mentioning the trade show going to New Orleans, I right now, looking at how everything's trending, that trade show floor is going to sell out this year. And, people, if you told me that was going to happen over that pandemic 2020, I would have told you, no way. We thought that the association was just barely hanging on. But it feels good to see where we're at now and the success. Every time I see a new lounge, a new cigar bar open, and a lot of it's on the government affairs side. Connecticut last year, progressive state, they passed legislation that allowed for a limited number of cigar bar licenses. So that opened it up. 10 new businesses can come there. So that's real world results where I know the example in Baltimore, that was great. We did that in Michigan, the whole state. They shut down cigar lounges. We did the research on ventilation. And if you look at the ventilation requirements for a lot of cigar lounges, they are the equivalents of like hospitals.
Okay.
So like
Oh, wow.
that's where we came in and said, look, this is what we need. We can stay open and effectively do that.
Do we have anything special to look forward to in New Orleans in 2025?
There's a lot of things. We're working on putting together our Friday schedule. Last year, it was packed. Every session, we had Padron keynote the event. We're going to have a lot of pairings that will happen, educational sessions, business of retail. Opening party is going to be a home run, and then there's going to be a lot of other parties that occur. One of my priorities coming into this role is like the business to business side is already there. The sense of family reunion is already there.
Right.
You have the companies, you have the retailers. We need to work on making it a better experience, a fun experience, and having that entertainment value there. So I think look for that. We're listening to feedback. The date change, the venue change. That's based off of feedback from our members. I ask, for patience. We're going to gradually grow, and what we spend on the entertainment thing, we have to be judicious with it, because as we look at our overall budget, we want most of it to go to advocacy, fighting the fight to protect the business. But we want to kind of utilize within our network and our members. So, I don't want to reveal too much, but
Come on, exclusive.
we're working in the networks of some of our industry partners or retailers and manufacturers to have celebrity entertainment, to have special food, celebrity chefs, things like that will elevate the overall experience for the trade show. I know 20 years ago in the cigar boom, people would talk about the parties. Did you go to that party? I want to hear that after the trade show.
I say that. I talk about it at the two PCAs I went to. I had a damn good time. So
Every PCA I went to had
Let
it.
me
Yeah.
ask this as well, as far as New Orleans, like as far as your target audience, I know is generally towards cigar smokers or lounge owners. Are you guys like there's a lot of cigar weeks where certain cities have cigar weeks. Are you guys kind of trying to target a new audience and trying to educate them as well? Or is it just about the current cigar smoker now?
So, through other partnerships, we are looking at, consumer engagement. Now, the trade show itself is just for the industry. It's
Okay.
just for retailers, manufacturers, industry partners, and media. It's kind of the cigar Super Bowl, if you will.
Super Bowl is there this year, isn't it?
Yeah, Super Bowl is there this year.
Double up.
But through like DC Cigar Week, for instance, we support that. We've done a panel the past 2 years. We are trying to engage with other. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. If somebody's doing something well and we can support it, we want to see it grow. Like, we're here to support the industry through and through, and also look for new opportunities. I've been in talks for the past 3 months about working as a marketing partner, the association, for a event that would take place outside of the United States. So
yeah,
we're
we'll be
looking
there.
at new markets. We're looking at Asia. We're looking at the Middle East. I'll be going to Intertabac in Dortmund, Germany in 3 weeks, giving a talk on U.S. regulatory and legislative policy. One of the things that I also want to do in coming on board is the U.S. is the largest consumer market for premium cigars. We
Is
need
it
to
bigger
start,
than the UK?
Oh, much bigger than the UK.
Oh, wow.
We didn't know that.
Nugget.
And
a nugget.
there are cigar shops in the U.S. that buy more than entire countries in Europe. So the market that we have, the infrastructure, the community, the estimates are around 3.5 million cigar consumers in the U.S. we need to start carrying our weight globally. We've done the research, we've spent the money in the lawsuits. We have to go out there and kind of export that knowledge, export that information, and help cigar consumers in the trade elsewhere. I've been working with ECMA, which is the European Cigar Manufacturers Association. They do great work, and we will oftentimes support their positions. We just filed a comment against plain packaging in the Netherlands, supporting what their stance was. So I think that that's kind of a new development. Whether it's good policy or bad policy, it doesn't have any border. You know, stuff that percolates in, and we've seen this, New Zealand, Australia, they tried to enact generational smoking bans. What happened?
They're trying to do that here now.
Yeah.
They're doing it. They're trying to do it in Massachusetts,
Like
and California,
crazy,
and
yeah.
Hawaii,
Yeah.
and even Tennessee. And we've been fighting back against that. Glenn Loop, our colleague at the state level, he's been leading that charge in Massachusetts. We're on a big coalition with 50, 60 organizations. That's the new frontier. That's the next fight for the industry, is the so-called generation nicotine bans. So it's not only tobacco. A lot of the times they're going after the vapor products and other non-tobacco products, and they're talking about youth access. Well, the issue is, and what we come out and say is, the FDA, a couple of years ago, I think it was in 2021 or 2022, the FDA said that we are the lowest enforcement priority because we don't have a youth access issue. People, you know, kids are not smoking premium cigars. They're cost prohibitive, number one, and you know, they're not something that is applicable. So we're telling our specific story, but in the larger context of these massive bans, and there's $1 billion behind a lot of these anti-tobacco initiatives. So we're David versus Goliath in this fight.
And I want to ask one more thing, and I don't mean to.
Hey,
hijack
yo,
the
listen here, Drano.
But the more
I'm
he
loving
talk-
it. I'm
the more
loving
he
it.
talk, the more questions I have, right? So, like with this country being in such a, you know, this side versus that side as far as politics, is it one party or the other that's kind of enforcing these bans, or is it just government as a overall? And I don't want to offend nobody's side of the house. I just want to know, is it one side or the other side that's kind of enforcing these things?
So, you know, we are a bipartisan organization. We
Right.
work with Republicans and Democrats. You know, I mentioned I was at the RNC and the DNC.
Right.
We engage with both sides. Now, if you look at, you know, congressionally at the federal level, we have very good relationships with both sides of the aisle. The Congressional Cigar Caucus has a Republican in Dan Muser and Troy Carter, who's a Democrat out of New Orleans. So it's a bipartisan issue. You know, I would say that, you know, House Republicans are better. They're probably the best in terms of a block. Senate Democrats typically are better than Senate Republicans. Now, at the state level, you see kind of a mix of things. In Florida, there was a Republican state senator that was considering introducing a public smoking ban that would include cigars. Now, Florida is one of our strongest states for the industry. That's where manufacturers are. There's a ton of shops there.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not a simple, you know, Republicans are good or Democrats are good.
Right.
You know, we engage with both sides. And I tell our board that we have blinders on. We're like a horse racing. That cigars are, and this message about premium cigars is important, that we evangelize that to both sides. So I know that's a roundabout way of answering the question, but you know, it's.
I like it. You like it?
Yeah,
You like it?
it's the answer to me. You know, because just me being an outsider, not knowing, well, I know a few local politicians, but not knowing any federal politicians or anything like that. My vision of them are guys that, you know, in conferences or on a golf course or whatever, smoke cigars. So I figure they all would be in favor of it. That's just, you know, my view of it. You know, that's just how I see a lot of business get done.
Yeah.
So
And you know, small business, that angle, the cigar issue itself is not just tobacco policy. You have small business, you have veterans, you have financial services, you know, there's a lot of different things. So sometimes politicians are with us on certain things and against us on others.
Right.
You know, I would say, for instance, one of the most negative politicians, and this is no shock to anyone, is Senator Durbin out of Illinois. No friend of tobacco
state.
policy.
That's your state.
You know, he
see why you
continually
moved.
introduces some of the most draconian measures against all tobacco. Now, I don't think he has any viewpoint specifically on premium cigars. He just doesn't like tobacco in general.
But is that for personal reasons?
Personal reasons.
Like his mom or dad could have died from like lung
Yeah,
cancer.
you
or
know,
something.
whatever his reasons are, irrespective of that, when it comes to some of the, so there's an issue about credit card processing. He's actually a champion for legislation that would help retail small businesses on that. So, you know, it's, you work with some people on certain things, they're against you on others, you don't take it personal, and, you know, you try and build consensus as much as you can.
Okay. Now on the just cigar part, do you guys have any? Well, you actually do. What's something that you know that just launched and just dropped? What, a day ago, 2 days ago, this morning?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very excited about this project. So Toscano has been a long-standing partner of ours. You know, iconic brand, been around 200 plus years, known for the Clint Eastwood cigars, known for Kentucky fire-cured tobacco. We hosted an event at the Italian Embassy with Toscano and also one on Capitol Hill. This place was packed with 400 people. They've been a great partner of ours. And we decided to do a partnership with them. I was actually on vacation last year in Italy and toured their factory in Lucca and got to work on the packaging, worked on kind of the concept. But it's the first air-cured cigar coming to the U.S. market that Toscano is bringing. So typically they would do the Kentucky Fire Cured. Most of their cigars don't have a binder, so this one has a binder. It's air cured, very sweet cigar, but it maintains the Italian brand. It maintains the integrity of Toscano, but it's a reflection of also the American market. It's something that can stack up in a humidor. And we're really excited to launch it in a couple of weeks with them. And they've contributed to our advocacy fight as a marketing partner through that partnership.
So, Richard, let me ask you this question.
Yeah, you thought we was gonna forget about you.
I talk too much. Sorry.
No, that's good.
Oh no, you very seasoned. You real seasoned. Real seasoned.
Yeah.
The more you talk, the less we gotta talk. We like that. We like that. So let me ask you this question. You get the question next. Your job aside, as a consumer, you had $20 and you can only buy one cigar. It's your last $20. What cigar are you gonna buy?
League of Nine.
My man.
Drew Estate.
My man.
Man of my heart.
What about you?
Padron 1926.
Oh my.
My man, right here. My man.
I always say if I'm stuck on a desert, and I love League of Nine.
I love League of Nine.
Find it
Awesome.
for $20 though.
Yeah, if you get the, But yeah,
I've gotten, the last 5 years, gotten to smoke in some incredible places with incredible people. But one of the highlights every year, and I mentioned it to Howard on, before everyone got here, I go to the Miami Grand Prix every year, the Formula One race. And George Padron and his family have a pop-up shop lounge on the track.
Oh, wow.
And getting to watch Formula One race, smoke Padrones with George and his family. That's a highlight for me.
That's big, yeah.
And that to me, like
That was a drop there.
Yeah, that's a drop. Listen,
he's like, I'm the shit.
look. Can I get our drop game up? That was a drop.
It's
Message.
it's such a consistent cigar, and the funny thing is, like am a huge fan of the 64. And I used to like the 64 Maduro, and I've now switched to 26 Maduro. But the whole Padron portfolio of I've smoked thousands of cigars. I've never had an inconsistent Padron.
The 26 Natural is my favorite.
Natural.
Yeah.
Look.
That's my favorite.
That's good
Wow.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Richard, we're gonna let Richard talk some.
Yeah.
Tell
you
me,
got the secret double, the triple clearance.
tell me your pros and cons about your job. Or one
Be
of
careful.
each. One of each.
He's gonna say me as that crazy boss that talks too much.
You might need to step out the room.
We might have to do a segue.
Richard, like, call me tomorrow.
The pros are that you get to work with a lot of small businesses, and you get to meet real people, real America, and get to see them. And when we do some of our visits to members or the people come to town, that's been some of the most meaningful when we have our fly-ins and that. And because I mean, and that's it's just as great to, you know, the industry, you know, Rocky and all that when they're around. But it's also just good to hear what's going on the ground. So that's a very positive thing. Like, another one is that you get to learn about the industry. You do get to meet Rocky. You get to smoke the different cigars with different people, like Drew Estate, like Glenn Wolfson coming through here. I would say, what would be a negative?
Besides working for Josh.
So that's one of them. I think it's not necessarily. I'm not going to try to. I'll try to give you a real answer. I'm not going to try to like twist it, but maybe just occasionally, if you do run into somebody and they may say, "Oh, a cigar. Oh, I had a cigar, and you know, I was so. Oh, I had a cigar last night, and it just wiped me out." And I'll say, "Well, what'd you do?" "Well, I was at a wedding, you know." And I'm like, "Did you drink?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we got blacked out."
Right.
And I go, "So it was the cigar that did it to you, not the drinking." Or somebody will say like, "Oh, they were out on the golf course for like the whole afternoon, and you know they were drinking or something like that." And they're like, "Oh yeah, that cigar did me in." And I go to them, it wasn't being out in the sun for 6 hours and drinking nothing but, you know, transfusions or that. So kind of just, I mean, we're looking to make converts, not heretics, to try to bring people. So I always tell them, you know, how to properly humidify, how to properly store, you know, eat on a full stomach type thing. I think somebody told me at one point in time Sprite is an industry kind of secret, to have some Sprite when you're smoking too. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, no.
I don't know about that. I never.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have me some liquor.
Yeah.
Bourbon, me, please.
We got bourbon, scotch.
Yeah.
I love the coffee pairing, espresso, and then, you know, a little bit of dark chocolate.
That's your hot sauce.
Dude, if I drank some coffee right now at 7:15 p.m., I'd be up till 7 a.m.
I try to keep pace between coffee and cigars, and I'm not going to publicly say how many cigars I smoke a day because it's more than your average.
Okay.
But it's
He's on our boat.
yeah.
Okay.
I think we're all in the same
Yeah,
category.
we're all in the same
I
boat.
got one question. For somebody just beginning to open up a shop, what advice would you give them about opening up a cigar lounge in the state of Maryland? I just picked Maryland.
In the state of Maryland. Well, I would say for one, you want to lean. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, for sure, right? You want to lean on we're a very friendly industry. People are very supportive of each other. They're like neighbors.
Shit, not where we come from.
Well,
It's different. It's crabs in the barrel up there.
Barrels, yeah.
that's why you reach out to the PCA and we'll help hook you up.
Indeed. You gotta get your PCA membership.
That's your number one.
Yeah,
Join PCA.
join the PCA.
That's your number one advice right there. Yeah, I would say that. I mean, look, our association's there to help you when you're starting your business, and so we're here to advocate for you, and also tricks of the trade, everything like that. I think that, we're on another boom post-COVID in the cigar industry, and so I do think things are going to work out for that person if they're starting that business. I mean, I think anything there's a demand for it. I don't know what you think, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I would say just focus on building a sense of community.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing is like, your regulars, if you get a group of 30 people, that's what I would focus on. That will keep your business afloat. All the other, tourists, concerts, big events, that will make your money and get your profit. But if you focus on that sense of community, your employees will be happy. They'll join that sense of community, and it becomes something on autopilot. It's not, let me sell the most expensive cigar or have the most markup on it. It's, how can I tailor the lounge to be a comfortable space where people want to go, they can get a value, and if they know, all right, your favorite cigar is a 1926 natural, and you buy a box, you take care of them. Like it maybe one on your birthday is ready for you.
Right.
Things like that where the attention of detail of your customers, and you kind of tailor certain things. In Maryland, Maryland crab. Perfect example. Doing a crab fest at a cigar lounge is something that might not work in California, but they might do a wine pairing in Napa. Mm-hmm. So kind of knowing your audience, and also like understand where the trends in the industry are going. We have a lot of female-owned small businesses popping up in the industry, but also female consumers. Mm-hmm. So it's not. There's this negative perception about the cigar industry that's changing, that everyone that smokes cigars looks like Winston Churchill. It is a very diverse community. You have people from all different walks of life. Cigars, are the great melting pot. The cigar lounges are the great melting pot. And you can comfortably, I visit about 150 cigar lounges a year. And politics, religion, all the don't talk about things, they're talked about in cigar lounges. And I've never been involved in a fist fight or seen a fist fight, thankfully.
So how many members y'all got?
We have 3,500.
3,500. That's good.
So
You gonna be 36?
Yeah, what's the price?
no, you don't have a shop yet or something.
Pretty soon.
So tell us about the fundraiser.
So September 25th, we are doing our annual fundraiser. This is something that we started to support our advocacy initiative. We have a software database that tracks all state legislation and gets consumers involved and retailers. So to pay for that and lend that to other state associations, we've developed this fundraiser. I think it's our 5th year. We've always done it in Arlington, Virginia. Right now we're at 13 cigars that will be featured, a lot of great companies, and then we'll have about 10 to 12 raffle items, food and drink. It's going to be a good time. Probably have about 150 to 200 people.
We gotta put a Stay Smoky package together.
How much is the ticket?
So there's general admission for 125 and VIP for 250. Okay. So, but 100% of it goes to the advocacy fight. This is we do one a year in DC. We want to grow it. We know that there are large scale festivals out there, and we're kind of working with our local retailers to help drive traffic towards it. But it'll be an exciting night. Our entire board of directors will be in town. A lot of the brands that you'll get the cigars, either their sales rep or their principal will be there. So you get to meet a lot of people in the industry. So it will be an exciting time.
Can you, if it's all right, can you name some of the companies that will be there?
Michael Herklot's from Ferry Otago. He'll be there. He's actually going to do the auction.
I thought he was doing the pairing.
So no, he's doing the auction.
he followed me
Michael
on Instagram.
Campolini from Toscano. So
Okay.
actually, that will be the first time you'll get to try that new Toscano cigar.
Okay.
That will be the first time it's released to the public. That's actually lucky number 13 for the VIPs. If you're on the general admission, that will be the 7th cigar that you get.
Okay.
So, there's a Oliva, a ton of brands out there. Maria and Lisa on our membership team did a really good job. In
Shout
getting
out to
that
Cigar
together.
Lisa. That's the homie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, man, I'm kind of jealous you guys get to do what you like
Yeah,
to do.
y'all accepting job applications.
Yeah.
Y'all-
Look, y'all got like a promotion.
Y'all got job applications and shit. Damn, son.
Man, I'm working on my LinkedIn profile.
I'm right there.
I need to be in charge of urban culture coagulation.
Development.
I'm going to be in charge of our urban department.
Yeah.
We need cigar lounges in the hood. Yeah, sign me up.
But I'm pretty well through my stick. Man.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it so far.
It's a good cigar.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I like Cavalier. I've smoked a few of these.
yeah, it's a nice stick.
So
I'm gonna go ahead and rate mine now.
What you got?
What you got?
I'm going with the strong 3.5 to 4.
With the hot sauce?
Yeah, with the hot sauce.
Okay.
It's a good stick. It's burning pretty evenly. I had to heat it up maybe once or twice.
Yeah, I ain't never had to even read like mine.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good stick. It's burning real even, so I like it.
I had to relight mine because I was talking too much. It had
Yeah.
nothing to do with the construction.
Josh, you was dropping knowledge, though, man.
Yeah, you was definitely giving some
You
nuggets.
was dropping
Yeah.
knowledge, bro.
Message.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah,
This your first time smoking it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think you've smoked them before.
I think I've smoked them before. It's definitely
dude, they smoke cigars for a living, bro.
This particular.
All
stick
of
is-
them. They smoke all of them.
yeah.
All of them.
I mean, I've definitely
their job.
smoked
Yeah.
smoked a Cavalier before. I don't know if, but
How you
Yeah.
enjoying this one?
this one I'm enjoying pretty well.
Okay.
Is it because of the good Russells that I bought down here for y'all to...
That's right.
That's right, baby. That's right. Yeah, Richard.
There's a hot sauce.
Yeah, old block.
Yeah, the hot sauce.
Up there in Illinois, they might prefer Tabasco sauce.
Tabasco. That's Tabasco.
Hear it from everywhere.
Oh man.
I would say, I mean, I have not had to relight it the whole time talking. I mean, I've been doing puffs in and out.
Right.
I'd probably go a little higher. I'd probably go like 3.6, 3.7.
Yeah, nice.
367.
Nice.
I like that.
Yeah. What about you, Neff? How you feel about it?
Yo, without the hot sauce, I'm giving this a 9.
Wow.
He always trying to get out the spectrum.
Oh, you can go off the
He
spectrum.
just trying.
Let me tell you something.
He just trying to get a job. That's all.
me
He just trying to get a job.
Yo, don't worry about what I'm trying to do.
I give mine a 4.5 with the hot sauce.
Yeah.
Without. It's a 4.5 because I only had to light it once and
That's something.
it's hitting.
If Ron give you Ron,
It's hitting, bro.
Yeah, it's
It's
hitting. I ain't
bro.
gonna- yeah.
I've had Cavalier. I like Cavalier.
Yeah,
It's like we just really don't have a lot
It's
in
def-
our
Yeah,
area.
it's definitely solid, man.
Yeah,
It's,
it's hitting.
yeah.
Oh. Y'all got any closing remarks? Any things you want to add before we get out of here?
I know Josh, dude. He kind of sees it.
Hold on, no. Let Richard go first.
What normally goes on in closing remarks? What?
Yeah, you just say if you got anything you want to say,
Nothing too. I mean, look, it's. I'll say it's a great industry to work in. Appreciative to get to have learned it. Continue to get to learn it. To meet people, and we're always here. If you're ever in DC, let us know. Reach out. Come on, stop on by the PCA Townhouse. Have the experience like you guys had. And we're glad to have had the experience here with all of you. I mean.
Thanks, man.
Hey, don't just show up down here, goddammit. You gotta make an appointment or something. You gotta call somebody. You gotta know somebody who works here.
If you're in the area.
This is not a cigar lounge, a cigar shop. They don't sell cigars here.
Look, if you live in the Baltimore County area, you gotta contact Stay Smoky TV.
Yeah, don't just show up.
Don't show up.
They'll contact you first.
We'll filter and we'll schedule it out for you.
Yeah, don't just show up. You know, they're gonna call the police on your ass.
At least once a month, we get people coming here trying to buy cigars. So it's
Really?
a common occurrence where
I'll add on to my closing in that if you're listening and whenever this is, go today, tomorrow, go to your local lounge, your local cigar retailer, and go try something new. Just go try experience and help out a small business.
Nugget.
Message.
All right, everybody.
All right, hold on.
About to drop.
Closing remarks.
What did he miss?
So, my closing remarks, first and foremost, thank you for inviting us to the program.
Thanks for having us, man. This was epic for us.
Great to connect with people that love the leaf, like we do. And I would say, if you're in the industry, if you're a retailer or manufacturer, take pride in what you do. For far too long, this has been vilified by people. You have legislators, you have government coming after it. This is something that's good for society. It's good for community. It's an adult pastime that brings people together. And if you're a consumer, like Richard said, support those small businesses out there. We want to continue to see that growth. We want to see this industry sustain and survive. And I would also say if you're interested in opening a business, we develop those resources. Our website is premiumcigars.org, and then the advocacy site is cigaraction.org.
Okay.
So if you want to engage with us online, we're continually growing, doing new things. This is my first year leading the organization. And I'm open to free feedback, whether it's positive, negative, constructive. We're not perfect. It's been a growing process and a fruitful process. I've learned a lot along the way, and I think that we continually come back to the fact that we get to meet people. That's the greatest part of the job. Going to last week, New Orleans and Chicago, I got to hear from different people in the industry, other podcasts, blogs, media, consumers, elected officials, and the dialogue is different in each of those instances, but the commonality is we enjoy this. So we might have a ton of differences, but that's the commonality that brings us together.
So when you did the other podcast, they ain't bring you no swag, did they?
No, this is nice.
The other podcast ain't bring you no swag, did they?
And Russell's, I mean, wow. I feel spoiled.
I think you pour a little bit in your coffee.
Yeah. It's going to be one of those, now whenever we do whenever we do podcasts, we're going to have one of those like celebrity riders. We're going to say Russell's. We're going to have green M&Ms, not the blue ones. Or the red
Yeah.
Put it
You
on.
want all the letters turned the same way.
All the letters turn the same way.
Oh, I do have one more question. So PCA, do y'all do any work or have any affiliation with CRA and TAA?
So, there's 3 trade groups that work on cigar issues, and then TAA is in like an invite-only group. So they have retailers and manufacturers. A lot of the PCA members are TAA members as well. I've gone and presented to their conference twice. It's a buying group. So they don't engage in advocacy or have the lobbying side. CRA, they are the consumer group that's led by a lot of the family-owned manufacturers. CAA is the larger manufacturers.
Okay.
So they also include machine-made cigars and flavored cigars. So we work together cooperatively with all those groups. We're on a weekly call with CRA. I encourage people to join CRA.
Oh yeah, I paid my membership.
Same here.
I got my
That's
card.
great.
Yeah, I got it all.
And then, CAA. and with CAA, we've worked increasingly more cooperative in the past few years. My former boss, Scott Pierce, went over to lead up CAA, which has given me the opportunity to run PCA. And, we're working together on a lot of stuff. There were divisions in the past with the industry, but I think everyone is extremely pragmatic right now, and we want to make sure that we have the same talking points, we have the same message, because, we're stronger together.
Absolutely.
There's 9 million quotes from historical figures that I could cite right now, but I just think that
We don't have
at
that
the
kind
end
of
of the
time,
day,
Josh.
we're stronger together. So
Well, from Stay Smoky TV, man, we really appreciate you guys
Definitely.
taking the time to sit down with us.
Definitely.
We know there's a lot of things you guys could be doing right now, and y'all sat down with us. We really appreciate you guys.
And for allowing us to be the first podcast to film in the PCA townhouse in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. So thanks again.
Message.
Appreciate you guys, man.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
So ain't nobody got anything else? Neff, what we got?
We got motion.
Peace out.